though I'm well traveled, even though I feel like I've done a lot for my age, there are still places where I feel like, do I belong here? What's up, guys? It's Diera. I'm back with another video, and today we're doing a sit down, talk to me nice kind of video.
Talk to me nice.
Talk to me nice. Come on, you're getting cussing in the intro.
I just felt comfortable.
Look, there's room for you.
We're gonna be like, who the f is this?
You want to introduce yourself?
Hey everyone, I am Kumo.
These my
one of Diera's best friends. It's a privilege to be on this platform because I've watched this woman when she first started it.
We're winding down, Kumo. We don't need to be getting into tears and things.
No, but for real though, like shout out to this beautiful queen, like what she's doing. Like I just like honestly, the world is gonna know the name Diera. Like, even when she didn't know how to be a content creator, she just worked with what she had, and she's one of my biggest inspirations.
She has a whole podcast, and she's over here being humble. She's about that life. Come correct. We're going to step to my friend, because she's coming with the facts. She's coming with the truth. I'm going to leave all of her information for her podcast down below. You guys should check her out. And,
hold on.
I didn't intro this video.
We didn't, but we good.
I'll do intro at the end. Go ahead, friend.
I just want to say something real quick. She's on who was like, hey, you should start a podcast.
I totally did
tell her. She's the one who said I should start a podcast. But
she's the talent. She's the talent, hands down.
Get you friends that literally pull out the best in you and see things in you and challenge you to do better. So thanks, D. You challenged me.
Friend. I heard this quote. It said, people can only meet you as far as they've met themselves. And that really spoke to me because I feel like everybody is responsible for doing the work of knowing themselves and being able to be self-aware, and how they present themselves to the world is really a reflection of the things that they do in private, you know, in their quiet time. Like, how well do you know yourself? How well do you love yourself? Are you making attempts to love other people, to do other things, but not having that firm foundation of a solid identity? Maybe we could start off just talking about your self-love journey. Do you feel like you've kind of grown over the years in valuing yourself and like how you see yourself?
Yeah, that's a good question. Thanks for even asking that question. I consider myself like a different type of like black woman. I am Zambian American. Like my family migrated to the States when I was like 13 years old. So like I have like a lot of like different intersectionalities to me. Like I am black, African, 28. I am a spiritual person. I'm an activist, organizer, like podcaster, like so many like dimensions to who I am. And like to be who I am at 28 years old, it didn't just happen overnight. It actually took so much like crying. I used to hate myself. I didn't think I was beautiful. You know, I would literally nitpick on so many things. Well, you have a gap, you have a big nose, like you're not, like, you know, all these things, and just like thinking that I wasn't beautiful. And two, like I went to therapy when I was like in my early 20s, and it really healed me. Like being able to like look at myself in the mirror and like saying words of affirmation. So I would write down like words of affirmation and saying like I am statements, because I am statements is so powerful. Like speaking into myself, like I am beautiful, I am powerful, I am brave, I am bold, I have something to say. And that really like I would do that every morning in my early 20s, and I feel like that really was like the foundation for who I am today. That like set the foundation for who I am today. So that's how it started.
I've literally watched this woman evolve. Like I think we've grown with each other, and that's the beauty of our friendship, is like we've seen the good, the bad, the ugly. Like, and I say that frequently because I feel like Kumo has seen me at my lowest. You know, and even within our friendship, we were just kind of joking about it, but like we've had tough conversations about things that, you know, other friendships may not have survived, you know. And I think Kumo's always been just very honest, upfront, and vulnerable. And I think that's really, really powerful. But to speak on the I am statements, y'all, that will literally change the trajectory of your entire life. Because the way that you talk to yourself, it really affects the way that you perceive life. It affects the way that you take on the world. And if you're not having positive dialogue within your two ears, like within this mind of yours, it really will make your life seem more dull and negative. And I don't know, I just feel like you have to be careful of how you talk to yourself. And even if it's not verbally coming out of your mouth, it's like that internal dialogue, that self-talk. So that's something that honestly to this day I'm still working on.
Me too.
I think I've accepted myself like physically, right? So like I know I've had acne my whole life and have a whole acne journey story time on my channel if you guys want to watch it, but I never let the way that I look shape my perspective of my value. But I have had struggles with the way that I am perceived as far as intelligence, in leadership, how I deal with stress. I worry too much about how people would perceive me. Wanting to be perfect, wanting to have things a certain way. I struggle with control sometimes, like trying to control the outcomes of my life. And it's like, girl, release all that stuff, because like it's only hindering you, it's only holding you back.
Part of growth is acknowledging like the areas where we're like, you know, like where we lack or where we need to do better. And
areas of opportunity.
But like just like growing. And I think that that's something that I love about you, Diera. Like even just you being vulnerable, that's something that was hard for you to be vulnerable with others. God. Seeing you like being vulnerable and like, because vulnerability is so healing. Like it's scary as I cuss, by the way, so y'all probably might not be used to me.
Y'all don't hear me cuss. Don't think I'm perfect.
I'm a little different.
But you know what? To tap on that, I want to say not even just vulnerability, but like authenticity. Going back to that quote, like others can only meet you as far as they've met themselves. Until you're really solidified in you. Like, who am I? And am I this same person in public as I am in private? And I think not that I've ever been fake, but I think I've been very guarded. You know, I've been very selective about the things that I really open up and share. But
there's a thing that comes from like, where do you think that comes from?
A lot of us grew up like, what happens in this house stays in this house, you know, or always feeling like you have to protect those around you, not being able to speak to your experience fully because in your experience it involves other people and it might portray them poorly, and you don't want them to, or you don't want to speak on anyone else's story. I don't know if that's making sense.
No,
like, yeah, okay, so I hope y'all flowed with that, but I think I've always just been more like a private person, and in some ways I want to open up more, but I do think there's a time and a place for discretion. You know, like I think not everything is meant for everybody, but I don't think anyone should ever be two totally different types of people.
In order for us to really genuinely love ourselves, like the way that I've came to love myself, because you asked me that question, like how did I get to come to that place?
Love you.
Yeah, like I genuinely love myself. I legit like love myself. Yeah. Like it can be like egotistic and narcissistic, and mine's not in that way. It's more of like I love myself to the point where I know that if I'm in a certain space and a certain room, or if I'm around certain energies and you're not like respecting me and what I bring to the table, I know to take myself out of that situation. Because I'm like, you know what, like I love Kumo. Like I love Kumoyo so much that I am not going to put myself in a space where people treat me like shit. I'm very cautious of who I even call friends and who I allow in my space, because I think that it's like I've worked so damn hard to be who I am, and you know, to love myself to the point where it's like, you know what, like I'm not accepting anybody who treats me like. Have I made mistakes? Absolutely. I don't always get it right, but I think it's like when you really love yourself and advocating for yourself and being like, I want, right? Because that's another thing, another form of self-love is being able to say, I need, and this is what I want in a relationship, and setting boundaries, even though it can be uncomfortable sometimes.
You just said the golden word, boundaries. Boundaries. I tweet about this all the time, but I think people imagine self-care to be super glamorous and all about bubble baths baths and sipping tea. And no, like, self-care is really about doing the work and setting boundaries and enforcing those boundaries. Not just being like, okay, it's not just saying, okay, today I'm going to be stronger. No, it's like, okay, what am I going to do? What are the actionable steps to make sure that I'm enhancing my quality of life? And when it comes to boundaries, I feel like I'm someone who really struggled with setting boundaries in relationships. Really just honoring self. Honoring if I don't feel like doing something today, not just doing it because I've been invited to do it, but doing it because it's something that really edifies my experience, it's something that enhances my quality of life, it's something that betters me as a human. But I think I missed the whole part where I was trying to talk about Twitter. But basically, I always say, you know, the only people who are mad that you have boundaries are people who benefited from you not having them, you know, to begin with. Yes. So if people start acting funny when you set boundaries, that's because they're so used to you not having them. And they've been taking advantage of that. And that should, you know, be a reality check for you. And I think it's important to have boundaries.
This is good content, you know, and this woman, I have watched her remain consistent with this, and it's beautiful, you know. And I think that it's important to create a platform where you're very vulnerable, not even very vulnerable, but being able to connect to your audience, because people are more attracted to vulnerability, right? Like, that's what, for me personally, that's what has really attracted me to a lot of like celebrities and people that I follow. It's like their vulnerability, because I can see myself in them. Everybody wants to see themselves in a story. Yeah. You know, like, I'm sure some of you who subscribe to this channel, you somehow see yourself in Diera's story. And she has so much to offer, and I'm excited that she's on this journey.
Look at her hyping me up again. That's not what this story's about.
Still, no, I just want to say, like,
but you know what?
A vulnerability.
We could keep going forever, because that goes back to self-love and learning to receive compliments, learning to accept that people genuinely like you. Like, can we talk about imposter syndrome and feeling unworthy, feeling like you don't deserve the things that you worked your butt off for? Like, no, I really could go there, because that's something that I used to struggle with, and to this day sometimes I still struggle with, like, learning that I belong everywhere. And not, even though I'm educated, even though I'm well-traveled, even though I feel like I've done a lot for my age, there are still places where I feel like, do I belong here? And like, it's so important. Let me speak to Black women really quick, because y'all know, I just feel like it's so important to understand. I learned this from my lead Teal. You belong everywhere. There are rooms where your name is being spoken and you haven't even entered it yet. Trust and believe that the plans that God has for you are far greater than anything you could possibly dream, think of, or imagine. Trust and believe that you are loved, that you are accepted, that your gifts and your talents will make room for you, that you are powerful beyond measure. Like, just no, feel that in your bones, with every fiber of your being. You are magic. You are so incredibly powerful. And I truly believe in us, you know. I really do. And that's not to discredit anybody else, it's not to exclude, but sometimes it's just, we need that little extra oomph to know, you know, we have a place where we belong and where we're accepted. So I love you guys, man. I look, we need to continue this conversation.
Yes.
Maybe I could join Kumo on a podcast one.
Yeah, it's on a break right now, but we're probably gonna come back.
Yeah, so maybe we will do a part 2 on your podcast.
Yeah, I would love to have you on. I've been inviting her.
I know, but I've always been so scared because we'll talk about it another day. But yeah, so I love you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Kumo and I just honestly free flow and share this love and this light and this Black girl magic with y'all. If you haven't already, please subscribe. Point blank period. Don't leave this without subscribing. You've already watched the entire video. That would be rude. Very, very rude. But if you guys don't know already, KUMOS Unfiltered Combos on Instagram.
Yes, follow and subscribe and leave a review.
Yes, all of that goodness. So yeah, I will see you guys in my next video.
Bye. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye. That was nice.
Where's your wine?
Oh, my wine.
Vino, baby.
Let me pour out my bottle.
Guys, today's video is sponsored by my pockets. Because clearly Stella ain't cutting us a check.
I'm so pockets.
but we're going to have a little wine night, which would be
a wind down, like Easter races.
Oh, I love that.
Wind down, chit chat.
Do you remember that show? Taina. I can't wait to see my name in the lights. Comment down below if y'all know what I'm talking about. I think her name was Taina.